We are basically talking about leave encashment. Okay? Leave encashment is if the employee has some unused leave. When I'm saying the employee has unused leave, can you tell me the meaning of that? He was entitled
They've
to
not
take the
used the
leave.
leave that they had.
Yeah, he was entitled to take the leave, but he did not take the leave. So that is called unused earned leave. Unused earned leave.
Leave.
So when this employee is leaving the job because of retirement or because of resignation, and he has this unused earned leave, he will get something that is called leave encashment.
Hmm.
Are you with me? When this
Yes.
employee is getting this leave encashment, when this employee is getting this leave encashment, what is leave encashment? Can you tell me?
Money for unused leave.
So when they are getting this leave encashment, when he is at the period of his service, then this amount is fully taxable. Are you with me?
Okay.
But if he
Okay.
is leaving the job, he is leaving the job because of retirement or because of resignation, then there is an exemption for this leave encashment. There is an exemption under section 1010A. Which section under section
10,
1010
10, 8.
AA? Okay. When do you get this
Hmm.
exemption?
Hmm.
When do you get this exemption? Please tell me.
When there is money for unused leave.
Okay, so when there is money for unused leave and you are getting this money at the time of retirement or resignation, only then you get this exemption. So if it is a
Hmm.
government employee, 100% is exempt on retirement.
Yeah.
But if it is any other employee, then the exemption is least of the following. What is the
Hmm.
exemption? Maximum amount of exemption that you can get is 25 lakh.
Okay.
Okay, that means in your entire life for leave encashment, you cannot get more than 25 lakh of exemption. So the exemption
Okay.
is least of the following. The exemption is what? Least of the following. First, the amount that you've actually received. Okay, amount that you've
Hmm.
actually received or 10 months salary on the basis of last drawn average salary. 10 months
Hmm.
average salary or
Okay.
25 lakh
Hmm.
or cash equivalent to earned leave limit of 30 days per completed year of service with that employer. Okay, fine. So, every 1 year you complete service with that employer, you can get 30 days of leave encashment. So, if you work with that employer for 10 years, then you can only get leave encashment for how many days?
30.
330 into 10, that is 300 days. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So earned leave entitlement, it cannot exceed 30 days for every year of actual service. That
Okay.
means for one completed year of service, you are going to get 30 days of salary.
Hmm.
For one completed year of service, you're going to get 30 days of salary, and the amount of salary will be computed on the basis of last 10 months' salary.
Okay.
So, what is the exemption? Can you tell me it is the least of what?
Rupees 25 lakh. The leave salary that is actually received. 10 months average salary or
30 days salary for every
30 days
completed year of
salary for
service.
every completed year of service.
Now, over here, when they're talking about salary, so while taking the salary, it would be the basic salary plus the dearness allowance, but only that part of dearness allowance which becomes a part of the retirement benefit.
Okay.
Okay, and plus commission only if it is a fixed percentage. Fixed percentage of turnover. And the salary would be the average salary of the last 10 months. Okay, when you're
Okay.
taking salary, it is the average salary of last 10 months immediately before the date of retirement. So when you're talking about salary, it will be what?
Last 10 months salary immediately before the date of retirement.
Okay, fine. Now, keeping this in mind, first you write the provision and try to do illustration number 16. So this is one sum that is related to leave cash encashment, leave salary encashment. Now the four conditions for leave salary encashment is actual that you've received for money for your unused leave, or 10 month salary, or government ceiling, or cash equivalent to earned leave. That means for every one completed year of service, you would get 30 days cash. I hope you're
Hmm.
with me. So there is a cashier who's a non-government employee. He calculated 10,000 for every month of his leave on his credit. To his credit, on retirement on 31st March. I want to calculate the taxable amount of leave salary and I have this information. So his period of service was 15 years, 6 months, and the employer was giving him 2 months' salary for every year.
Okay.
So, what is the actual amount that this man has earned? 2 months' salary per year. So, he is in
Hmm.
employment for 15.5 years. So, he is going to get 2 months per year.
Hmm.
But he has taken 3 months' leave when he was there.
Okay.
He was entitled to take throughout his employment 2 into 15.5. So he was entitled to take totally 31 months of leave.
Okay.
But he took only 3 months of leave.
Hmm.
So 28th month is his unused leave.
Hmm.
So the amount that he would actually receive for his unused leave would be 28 into 10. So the amount 10,000, that amount that he would actually receive is 2,80,000.
Hmm.
Here when I talk about salary, it is basic plus DA plus commission, fixed percentage of turnover, and the salary would be the average salary of last 10 months, which they've already
Yeah.
calculated and given to us.
Hmm.
So the amount of leave encashment is least of the four. Amount received or 10 month salary, 10 month salary, average salary, that is 10 into 10,000, so it is 100,000. Or the
Hmm.
government ceiling, that is 25 lakh. Government ceiling 25 lakh, that means you can't receive more than this.
Hmm.
Okay. Or cash equivalent of earned leave. That means for every one completed year of service, you are going to get 30 days cash.
Okay.
So he has completed 15 years of service. When I say completed year, that means these parts are ignored.
Okay.
So he has completed 15 years. For every 15 years, he's going to get 1 month encashment.
Okay.
But he has already used 3 months.
Hmm.
So he's going to get 12 months into 10,000, 120,000. So the amount of exemption under 1010AA would be least of 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hmm.
The least of the four is 100,000. So this is the exemption, and the taxable amount would be amount received minus exemption, that is 180,000. So this is
Hmm.
like illustration 6 for computation of leave salary encashment. We are going on this sum of pension wherein you all were very confused regarding commuting or non-commuting. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Uncommuted pension means you're taking it monthly, and when you're commuting it, that means you're taking something in lump sum in regard of receiving something monthly. Okay.
Hmm.
So Mr. Amit has retired from his job on 31st March 2024, and he was supposed to receive pension from 1 April 2024. His
2025.
assessment year is 24, 25, no, 25, 26. So his previous year was 24, 25. Yes.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
from 424, he was entitled to receive a pension, and his pension was 3,000 per month. So every month he was receiving 3,000 pension.
Hmm.
On 1st of August, he got 80% of his pension commuted. That means on 1st of August, he said that I don't want monthly pension. 80% of my pension, please give it to me in lump sum.
Okay.
And he received 120,000. I have to
Okay.
taxable pension if he is a government employee. I will first do only this much.
Okay.
Okay. Now the situation over here is from April to July, 3,000 he was getting monthly, so it was uncommuted.
Hmm.
And from August till the March, he had already taken 80% in lump sum, so only 20% of the part was uncommuted. So from 3,000, 20% was uncommuted, so he was getting 600.
Okay.
I hope you're with me.
Yeah.
So his uncommuted pension for the full year was for 4 months his pension was uncommuted, and from August to March only 20% was uncommuted, 80% he had already taken in lump sum. So his
Okay.
uncommuted pension was 3,000 into 4 and 600 into 8. 3,000 into 4 and 600 into 8, 16,800. What was his uncommuted pension?
Yes.
This is fully taxable whether you are a government employee or whether you are a non-government employee.
Okay.
I hope you're with me.
Yes.
Now we are talking about the commuted pension. Okay. For the commuted pension, you should know that when he got his 80% money commuted, when he got his 80% amount converted into a lump sum, he received 120,000.
Hmm.
Okay, in this case, we have to find what is the value of his commuted pension.
Hmm.
So, how much did he receive?
1,20,000.
So, he received 120,000 for getting his 80% commuted, for getting his
Hmm.
80% lump sum. So, what is the 100%, the full commuted value? His 100% would be 150,000.
Hmm.
That means when he commuted 150,000, out of that 150,000, 20% he is taking monthly.
Hmm.
80% he has got it done right now and he has received 120,000.
Okay.
The full value of his commuted pension is 150,000. So further
Hmm.
calculation would be done for commuted pension only based on the full value of the commutation.
Okay.
Okay, so you will always have to find the full value of the amount commuted.
Okay.
He received 120,000 for getting 80% commutation.
Hmm.
That 100% was how much we had to find out. So that full value basis on the basis of the full value of the commuted pension, you do further calculations. That is why we always need it.
Okay.
Commuted pension is what pension? Lump sum pension.
Hmm.
If it is a lump sum pension that is received and he is a government employee, entire
It's
amount is
exempted.
under section 1010A subsection 1.
Okay.
Okay. For a non-government employee, it would be what? For a non-government employee, and gratuity not received is covered under section 1010A paragraph 2.
Hmm.
And gratuity received is covered under, sorry, gratuity not received is covered under 1010A paragraph 2, and not received also covered under 1010A paragraph 2. Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if he is a non-government employee, for government employee, fully exempt. So
Hmm.
he will pay tax only on his uncommuted portion.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, if I talk about the non-government employee and gratuity not received, it would be how much?
One half of salary.
Half of full commuted value.
Oh, half of full communal value.
Okay, half of full commuted value. That means it would be half of 150,000. So his exemption would be, how much would his exemption be? 75,000.
Okay.
So his taxable amount would be how much? How much did he receive when he commuted it? 120,000
Minus 75.
minus exempt under section what? 10, 10,
10, 8, 2.
75,000.
Hmm.
So taxable would be what? Taxable commuted. So it would be 120,000 minus
45,000.
45,000. So taxable commuted would be 45,000 and taxable uncommuted would be what we calculated, right?
Yes.
16,800. So total taxable will be how much for him? 45,000 plus 16,800. Total taxable would be 61,800 for him. Now, if you've received gratuity,
Hmm.
you will take 1/3 value and you can calculate. Now, keeping this in mind, you can do this sum illustration number 5. Okay, turning income from salary.
Hmm. Basic salary, dearness allowance,
That
bonus,
income
commission.
from salary, you always have to mention the assessment year that you're referring to and the previous year.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
First thing is
Mm-hmm.
in the salary, you will have all the cash salary that you're receiving.
Yeah.
So we say this is the cash receipts. What all will come in the cash receipts, please?
Basic salary, dearness allowance, bonus, commission, arrears of salary, and advance salary.
What is the rule regarding arrears of salary?
I don't know.
Salary is charged. Income from salary
On.
section 15 to 17, right?
Hmm.
So the rule regarding arrears for salary is it is charged on due basis or receipts basis, whichever is earlier.
Okay.
So if arrears of salary, the chargeability section says that you charge on due basis or receipt basis, whichever is earlier. So do you think that arrears of salary would have not been charged to income under in the year in which it was due?
No, it wouldn't have been charged income.
Why? If it is saying that you receive or not. If it is due in the previous year, you have to charge it to tax. You have to treat it
Yeah.
as income from salary. So for
Hmm.
arrears of salary, do you think we would not have charged it then?
We would have.
We would have. So for arrears of salary, if you're including over here, you will write an assumption. Assume that not charged to tax earlier.
Okay.
Assume that not treated as income earlier. Alternatively, you say that I assume that it was treated as income in the year in which it was due. So ignored.
Hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
Then you have allowances. First allowance is HR, house rent allowance. What is house rent allowance?
House rent allowance is the rent received for the allowance that's given by the employer to the employee for the house rent. An exemption is made under 1013A, under section 1013A.
It will be in the form of money. You will receive money from your employer.
Hmm.
Okay? Exemption is
Hmm.
under section 1013A. What is the exemption?
The least of the following, which is the actual amount received: 50% of the rent in cities like Bombay, Chennai, Kolkata, and Delhi, 40% of rent in the other cities, or rupees 5, sorry, rent paid minus 10% of salary.
Okay. Then the next you have retirement benefits, gratuity, and pension. In pension, you
Hmm.
have two types of it, commuted and uncommuted.
Uncommitted. Hmm.
Uncommuted is
Monthly basis. And it is fully taxable.
uncommuted.
It is a lump sum amount, and it depends on your whether
Government
it's
employee fully exempt,
government employee,
government
it's fully
employee.
exempt.
You will
Non-government
see whether
employee
he receives gratuity or does not
receives
receive.
gratuity or does not receive gratuity.
Okay. Then the last part that I had to do was the perquisites. Apart from this, there
Hmm.
was leave salary encashment. It is under section 1010 AA.
So that will come above allowances, below
Yeah,
allowance.
so we have so many allowances, right? I just wrote one.
No,
Perquisite,
I'm saying where will the leave cash encashment mean?
anywhere you can
Come?
write, no problem.
Okay.
Okay. Now, allowances is what cash your employer gives you.
Hmm.
Perquisites is the benefit that the employer is giving to you, but in kind.
Hmm.
Allowances is the benefit that the employer is giving to you, but in cash.
Hmm.
Perquisite is the benefit that your employer is giving to you, but in kind. I hope you're with me.
Okay, yeah.
Now we're going to deal about these perquisites, but before I go to perquisites, can you tell me the three deductions under salary?
Yeah, so first is the standard deduction, which is there are two, old regime and new regime. Old regime is rupees 50,000 and new regime is rupees 75,000. And then your entertainment allowance is it's only exempted for it's only deducted for your government employees.
It's for government
Uh,
employees, maximum up to 5,000.
yeah, and professional tax is for all the employees who earn income like lawyer, doctors, and CAs, etc., up to 2,500 only.
And it's on paid basis.
It's on paid basis.
If the employer has paid professional tax for the employee, so it will be first treated as income and then the deduction will be given. Paid basis maximum up to 2,500. For whichever year you pay does not matter, but on paid basis only. Yeah.
Okay.
Before I go to perks, I want to tell you there were other allowances only, which is exempt under 1014.1. 1013A is house rent allowance. 1014 para 1 is special allowances for cut hut. Amount of allowance or amount spent, whichever is lower. Then there is fully taxable allowance 1014-2, that is transport allowance. Only if he is a blind person, then 3,200 is exempt. 1014-2, you have child education allowance, hostel expense allowance, special tribal or schedule area allowance. That if your employer is sending you to a tribal area or to a schedule area to perform the official duties, then he is giving you some extra money, that is called special tribal or schedule allowances. Then there are fully taxable allowances, which are these. I hope you know all of this, right?
Yeah.
What is allowances? Money received. What is allowances?
Money received.
Okay, fine. Now there are perks. When I'm talking about perks, perks is benefits that is given by your employer to the employee in kind. Okay.
Okay.
Most of the time, this is the part that is going to come in your examination. So, perquisites is benefit given by your employer to the employee in kind. So, there is rent-free accommodation. If your employer, they're always taxable. So, if the employer is giving the employee accommodation, which is free of cost, rent-free accommodation, or he is giving in
Okay.
concession, or he's paying the life insurance. The employee's personal life insurance is paid by the employer, or employee's personal obligations paid by the employer. Then we always treat it as always taxable perks. House is
Okay.
employee's personal responsibility. If for that I'm giving allowance, then 1013A is given. If the employer is giving the employee some allowance, some money to rent a house, exemption is given under.
1013A.
But if the employer is giving the full house, stay till the time, or he's saying, I have many houses, you pay me half rent, concessional accommodation.
Okay.
In that case, fully taxable for the employee. If the employee has to pay for his wife, if the employee has to pay for his children, if the employee has to pay for his personal obligations, but the employer goes and pays it, fully taxable.
Okay.
Employee's life insurance, employer is paying, fully taxable. Okay, so these are always taxable perks. You should remember free house, concession house, employee's obligation paid by employer, always taxable. Can you tell me for perks? Can
So
you tell me?
always taxable is the rent-free accommodation, the concessional accommodation, life insurance that is paid by the employer, and employee obligation that is paid by the employer.
Very good. Now we talk about never taxable. He arranges a party, employers arranging a party, giving refreshments, recreation facilities. He's allowing to use the office landline telephone facility, pick and drop from home to office, giving him some trainings. These are never taxable.
Okay.
So the office tea is given free of cost to everyone, never taxable. Refreshments, recreation, phone, pick up, drop, computer to perform official duty. Maybe some lunch is given in the office to all. Or concessional goods, that means your own office products is given at a concession to the employees. Say we are only the producers or the manufacturers, so we say staff discount 50% off. Concessional.
Okay.
Okay, he's giving some medical facility inside the campus. So, like if you go to schools, you have clinics over there. So, even in the office, if you go, they have some clinics over there. Medical facility, never taxable. Okay, so what is
Okay.
never taxable? Refreshment,
Refresh.
yeah, say.
refreshments, recreation, telephone facility, transport facility, training, concessional good, medical facility, computer, lunch facility.
Okay. Then there are some perks that are, these will very rarely come or in TYB. If the
Okay.
employer is giving the employee cook, gardener, gas, water, electricity.
Hmm.
A cook in the house, a gardener in the house, gas,
Hmm.
water,
Hmm.
electricity. Everything he is giving. The employer is giving
Hmm.
it to the employee. Okay. Then
Hmm.
we see to whom it is given. If
Hmm.
the employer is giving it to the director of the company, or the person to whom the employer is giving has 20% shares or 20% voting rights in the company,
Hmm.
or okay, if the monetary salary, that is salary minus deduction minus entertainment allowance minus professional tax, okay, after doing all the deductions, if the monetary salary that the person is getting is more than 50,000, then these people will have to pay tax on these benefits received by the employer. For
Hmm.
any other
Okay.
person, no, they do not have to pay tax. What are we saying?
Hmm.
If the employer is giving cook, gardener, gas, water, electricity to a watchman, the employee is the watchman. Will he have to pay tax on
Hmm.
this?
If the employee is a watchman,
Hmm.
yeah.
No, no tax. Why? Because he's a normal person. Maybe the salary is
Hmm.
too much.
Hmm.
Okay. So that is why he is giving him a cook, a gardener, gas facility, water facility, electricity facility, so that he can manage his stay. Not tax.
Okay.
If he is
Hmm.
giving it to the driver, not taxable.
Hmm.
But if the employer is giving to an employee who is a director of the company, or that person
Taxable.
20% shares or voting rights in the company, or his
Okay.
computation of salary after all the allowances and after all the deduction exceeds more than 50,000, then in that case this person does not need cook, gardener, gas, water, electricity, and still if the employer is giving, then it is fully taxable.
Okay.
Okay, so these are the perks that is called the benefits in kind. Always
Hmm.
taxable would be house, free concession, or
Life insurance
employee's obligation
paid
paid
by
by
employee.
the employer. Never
Hmm.
taxable would be the normal one: recreation, pickup, drop, clinic, lunch, training, telephone, refreshments, never taxable. And
Hmm.
cook, gardener, gas, water, electricity. Then only if it is for these higher category people, fully
Hmm.
taxable. It is for small people and the employer is paying, so not taxable.
Not taxable.
This was the only thing that was left in income from salary. Please make a note of it and then we'll go ahead.